What's up, guys? So we got Seattle Supercross this weekend, and yes, it's in Seattle. It'll probably be rainy. According to the weather, there's a 40% chance of rain. This is Hayden Deegan's first appearance since being thrown into the Clank. I got more on Chase Sexton leaving for Kawasaki, and then I got some ideas about who might end up on Ducati. All right, guys, so the Nano-Xtreme, due to overwhelming demand, they have changed the free sample. It's just gotten overwhelming. There's thousands and thousands of these being requested. So now what they're doing is they're doing an introductory special. So if you buy 2 of the 3 ouncers, go to this link if you haven't ordered before. If this is for first-time customers only, you get 2 of the 3 ouncers and a couple samples for $39.99 introductory value. And if you only want to try the 1 ounces, you can get 2 of the 1 ouncers, and all you have to pay is shipping. And it's only in the United States. It's $10, and you get 2 1-ounce bottles of Nano-Xtreme. Check out Coach Rob's YouTube channel. He has all sorts of good stuff over there, from training to interviews. He's got Ryan Hughes, Daniel Blair, Jeremy Martin. He's got all sorts of good content over there. So head over to his YouTube channel and give him a subscription.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So the Seattle Supercross is on Saturday in an open-air stadium. Josh Mosman from Motocross Action gave a really good explanation as to why they're not across the street at the baseball stadium that has a retractable roof. It's a really good explanation, so I recommend you go over to his Instagram and see. It makes a lot of sense as to why they're not there, but they also want to give the market in that area a race. But with that said, they're in an open-air stadium, and yeah, rain's an issue. They already got the track built, covered up, but it doesn't matter whether it rains or not. Hopefully it doesn't rain and become just a complete mud fest, but no matter what, the dirt they use in Seattle always breaks down, and it becomes almost like a survival. And even if it's not a mud race, this race is like a mud race. First thing they should do is ban paddle tires. Paddle tires and this dirt don't mix. Yes, they work really good, but it creates a gigantic rut every single time these 450s and 250s with all this power and traction rip a hole into this track. You cannot stay on top of it. If you lowered the knobby height, it would hold up just a little bit better. You're still going to get ruts. It's dirt bike racing, but it would actually keep it from completely falling apart. So it's a big weekend for Cooper Webb. This is historically a track and dirt that he's really good on. He does well in these kind of soft, rutted out conditions. He won this race last year. Remember, he had that epic battle with Chase Sexton till the very end. There's a lot of pressure on Cooper Webb this weekend. I know he has a point lead, but the momentum switched. He lost a lot of points. By getting 4th place last weekend with Chase Sexton winning, it cut his championship lead in half. And if there's anyone you don't want within striking distance of the championship heading into the final few rounds, it's Chase Sexton. Somebody with the speed who on any given night can go to that next level, you just don't want to leave him within striking distance. Cooper Webb needs to gain points on Chase Sexton if he really wants to kind of solidify himself. His odds to win this championship go down significantly if he loses points this weekend. I mean, obviously there's a lot of racing to go. There'll still be 6 rounds to go. The betting odds for him to win this championship change significantly if he loses points this weekend to Chase Sexton. It's going to come down to whether Chase Sexton makes the big mistake. We've seen him do it over and over. I mean, 4 weeks in a row, we saw him do something stupid. If he can get through Seattle and finish ahead of Cooper Webb and not have that big mistake, that throw it away, that hit the gate, whatever he does, he sets himself up perfectly. And there's going to be a lot of noise around Chase Sexton, being that the rumor is, and I haven't confirmed this, but I'm pretty sure he signed with Kawasaki this week. Like I said, that's not confirmed, but it's pretty darn close to being confirmed. And that leaves a lot of question marks. Now, one thing you can say about Chase Sexton, he signed his KTM deal long before he was done with Honda. This is not a dude that signs with a new team and then mails it in for the current team that he's on. This dude always gives you everything he's got. He is going to ride for KTM. He's going to do exactly what he's been paid to do until the day he moves over to Kawasaki. And with him going to Kawasaki, that opens up a lot of different opportunities. Now, these guys who didn't have contracts, Malcolm Stewart, Aaron Plessinger, who are riding really good, maybe there's enough budget to keep both of them now. Maybe they both move over to KTM. Maybe they keep going with Husqvarna. But these two guys are probably relieved that Chase Sexton left and went over the green bikes, because that opens up a lot of opportunities for them. What it does leave me wondering is what's going on at Kawasaki. Prado's locked in for 2026 and beyond. Anderson's not. Are they going to do 3 bikes? Is Anderson out? I don't know. That is a big question. Almost every single free agent has contacted Ducati. Not Ducati contacting them. They have contacted Ducati about riding that bike. And the names that have been linked to it, Anderson, Roczen, Barcia, they all really want that ride. But there's a guy that not a lot of people are talking about that I think would be a perfect fit. Now, this is speculation. I don't have any inside information from this. But if you put the pieces together, this Ducati team is essentially the Factory Connection Honda Geico team. That's the same people who are running this whole team. You got Ziggy, you got all these people who Eli Tomac got along great with. He loved dealing with these people. It was a perfect fit when he was over there, and I think it will continue to be a perfect fit. Let me just explain. So Ducati's a brand new bike. Now, nobody wants to risk going to a brand new bike. If you get a guy like Roczen, you really shoot yourself in the foot, because right now he's riding this bike that's considered a dinosaur. Yes, he's got it working really good, and it looks, as competitive as any bike out there, but it's way outdated, that Suzuki. So if he goes from an outdated Suzuki, jumps on that Ducati, and Ken Roczen's results drop, that is a bad look for Ducati. I don't know that I'd want that if I'm the Ducati, executives. You don't want a guy coming off of a dinosaur and then your bike's worse than the dinosaur that hasn't been updated in years and years. That's not a good look. But if you take a guy like Eli Tomac, who has said he's probably going to retire, you take Eli Tomac, you put him on the bike, you give him a deal similar to like what Caroli had. So Caroli was developing the bike, he raced part-time. If you could bring in Eli Tomac, that would be a perfect situation for Tomac to transition into retirement slowly. He gets to race when he wants. He's on a brand new bike, so the expectations are dropped. Now he can go over there, hang out with the guys that he really enjoys. So I don't know. I think that might end up being a thing. And like I said, this is pure speculation by me. I don't have any information to prove that they've talked about this or that this is on the table, but I think that might be a good fit for Eli Tomac as he transitions into retirement to go to Ducati, help them build that program, and race when he feels like it. And if I'm Ducati, then I bring in someone like RJ Hampshire. There's not a bar set for what he can do on a 450. I think he's going to do really well. You don't want to go with a guy like Anderson or Barcia, where, like I said, if their results are lower than what they are on the current bike, it's going to look bad. But you get a guy like RJ Hampshire, who hasn't been in the 450 class. Whatever he does on that bike, it's not going to be blamed on the bike because it's his first time on the 450 class. That's what I would do. I would grab Tomac, try and get him in sort of an ambassador / race when he feels like it role, and then grab like an RJ Hampshire. That would be a perfect fit for Ducati in their first year entering, the season. But like I said, this is total speculation by me. This is me just having some fun talking about it's going to be a wild, silly season with, Chase moving. That opens up a lot of pieces. There's going to be a lot of change this offseason. And now back to the racing stuff. So Aaron Plessinger rode really good last week. He is gradually getting better and better. You can see his confidence coming back to him. He does really well on these tracks that break down and get rutted and are possibly muddy. I am going to go out on a limb and say that's my pick for this weekend to upstage the championship battle, because you got Webb and Sexton. They're kind of watching each other. It's down to they're in championship mode. They're starting to worry about different stresses. AP and Malcolm Stewart, two guys that are out there riding really good. I think AP is going to win, and don't be shocked if Malcolm Stewart pulls out another win. Those are the two guys that both need contracts for next year, so they're out there just trying to prove that they're good enough to stay on a factory team. And hey, nothing says that like a win in whatever conditions they are. When you go to these teams and say, hey, well, he won a race last year, it helps a lot in contract negotiations. Check out Ride Strapped. Goggles, glasses, shirts. Get your Red Pill shirt over at ridestrap.com. Just a cool company that I love working with. Check out ridestrap.com. Precision Transport. Check out pretransport.com. They are a family-owned shipping company that believes in reasonable pricing, tracking numbers, and customer service. So if you're tired of dealing with shipping companies, hit up pretransport.com. And Alias MX is making a comeback. This gear looks amazing. They didn't produce a ton of gear because they're just kind of getting back into it. And unfortunately, since I started promoting it here, they've kind of sold out. So you guys bought out all their gear. But keep an eye on that website. They'll be dropping new stuff. And if you want to get some Alias gear, head over to aliasmx.com and look for big things from Alias moving forward. So in the 250 class, we got Hayden Deegan making his first public appearance since spending, some time in the Clank. Now, I don't think this is going to hurt his reputation at all. He was doing donuts in a parking lot. Cut the guy some slack. What I'm interested in, I want to see how he handles it. So mainstream media in this sport was not very nice to him over this. I mean, Racer X immediately splashed that mugshot all over, and that wasn't an accident. They did that purposely. There is a machine behind the publicity that Racer X, Vital MX, Pulp MX, they're all part of the promoter group. They're all connected to, MX Sports, Feld, and SMX. So what they put out, everything they put out is with intention. They do this to control and manipulate and make as much money for the promoters as possible. And this is a perfect opportunity for Davey Coombs and the power of the pen to take away some value from Hayden Deegan. It messed up, it backfired. It's actually going to give him more value in the way they've steered into it and made his own mug shots. It's actually going to help the notoriety of Hayden Deegan. He's going to be out there. He's going to have even more power. And now they've exposed themselves as what they're doing and why they're afraid of him. It's the same reason that they lambasted Lucas Myrtle. They don't want riders or, like teams, football teams don't like players or riders to get too much power because then they can demand things. And on the verge of this giant TV contract, the last thing that Feld or MX Sports needs is a star, somebody who really brings in the numbers like Hayden Deegan, Jet Lawrence, to demand part of the revenue sharing. And that's the type of power that Hayden Deegan has. They're doing everything they can to limit his power and just keep him as a participant and in line. They don't want him ever to have that change the sport mentality. And you can bet your ass with the media following that Hayden Deegan has and the power that he has generated, if he can keep winning races and winning championships, he's a guy that could 100% go to them and demand profit sharing on the TV deal. He's a guy that can make some real change in this sport. He has the opportunity to not only win a ton of championships and be a great racer, he could change this sport. He could be probably the most influential person in this sport in my lifetime. He could fix this sport if he chooses to take on that battle. It won't be easy, and they're going to do everything they can to stop him from, demanding revenue share. And now my question is, do the Deegans want to take this on? Do they want to risk it? And it's going to be a battle. And I'm telling you, I've dealt with these people. They fight dirty, and they're going to mess with him. If he goes in there and does something historic, like trying to change the sport, they are going to attack him from every single angle. And this was the first shot fired. But if he wants to be in that position where he could be just a complete icon and change this sport for every rider behind him, he has to do a couple things. He has to keep winning, for one. If he doesn't keep winning, he loses that power. It's only a short window where he's going to have this power, where he becomes the most powerful guy in the sport when he's about to go on 450. If he can continue winning, he could change everything. But like I said, I don't know if the Deegans want to do that, or if they want to rock the boat, or do they just want to get as much sponsorship dollars and maximize Hayden without rocking the boat? It's, because it would probably cost him a little bit in the beginning. But like I said, he could go from another great champion to probably the most important and influential person in the sport in my lifetime. But as far as on the track, man, he looks like a lock to win this West Coast Championship. It is a track that in the softer conditions, Hayden does really well. His main rival, Julian Beaumer, is injured. He's got that shoulder he's nursing. And then, the next guy in points is Cole Davies, a rookie who has shown some speed, but I don't see him. I could see Cole Davies getting a win before this thing's over, but I don't see him putting together 3 or 4, and that's what it would take to kind of dethrone Deegan from winning this West Coast Championship. I think Hayden is well on his way to his first Supercross Championship. I know he's got 2 SMX, he's got the outdoor, but he doesn't have a pure Supercross Championship yet, but I think he's well on his way. And then right after the race, I go live. If you guys want to just bench race and chat and interact with me, because I mostly just read your guys' comments, talk a little bit about the race. I don't go too in depth. If you want to just chat, and I've got a lot of haters after my Darren Lawrence piece. Aussies, come on. I want to see you haters. Come on live, chat with me. Let's talk. Tell me why you're so pissed off. Give me some real reasons. Come on that chat. A lot of you guys that want to kick my ass, and I had some people threaten to kick my teeth out. Hey, I'm in Vegas. I'm not hard to find. I'm not flying to you, but if you come to Vegas and you really are dead set on fist fighting me, I'm not against it. And there is some idiot of, it's MTF training facility, but it's not the Millsaps training facility. It's some sort of janky copy of the Millsaps training facility in Australia. This guy has been just freaking out. Like, he's losing his mind. So I was like, dude, you know what? Come on a Zoom call. That will be interesting. I'm going to have this knucklehead on and see if he still feels that way. And I just want to know what his problem is with me. Why does he hate me so bad? Is he Darren Lawrence's brother? Did somebody do him wrong?